Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land. As a music connoisseur that I am, as a listener of all kinds of music over the years, maybe 50 years or so, I've encountered different types of people who have asked me, you know, what is the greatest rock song of all times? Who is the greatest rock band of all times? And to be honest with you, I can't answer that question. I cannot answer what is the greatest rock song of all times. It's impossible. Who was the greatest rock band of all times? It's impossible because there's things that I look at when I listen to bands and listen to every song that they sang or wrote or whatever they did, all the songs that they're on their albums, how they sound live. I don't go according to record sales because to me, that's up to the media to decide. They decide who's going to be big and who's going to stay small. And it's all about timing. If certain artists or bands come out at the right time with a new style of music, it gets people's attention. So this isn't based on record sales and popularity. It's based on the music itself because I let it simmer down, and there's things I look at like, has the band been consistent through the years? Like, did they come out like smoking guns in the beginning and then at the end kind of they shouldn't even have made their final album or two? Certain things you look at has one of the greatest bands of all times, and I look at, did they live their music? Did they really sing from the heart? What was their intentions behind the music that they played? There's just so many intangibles out there that I take into consideration. Were they consistent in their style, meaning they stuck to their roots? Did they stay popular when they had changeovers in the band, whether it's the lead singer, drummer, guitarists, etc.? I look at the whole picture of a band. I look at all these things, and it's not about record sales. It's, like I says, it's all the intangible things. Did they sing from the heart? Did they really love what they did? Did they live their music? Did they stay consistent? So I can't name the greatest band or artist or song of all times, but I can give you this, and this is going to be a long process. I'll do one video at a time of who I feel is the elite rock bands of all times. And like I says, this video is going to be just on one for now, but there's going to be lots more. But there's an elite group that I do should be rightly hold the banner of one of the greatest rock bands of all times, or some of the greatest rock bands of all times. And the first band is I dug through my archives that has been consistent, that has survived changes in their lineups, that have stood the test of time, that even though they were formed back in the 70s, the mid-70s, they stayed with their style. They never changed their style. This band is truly one of the elites, and that band is AC/DC. This band withstood two major changes, and one of them was, of course, Bon Scott passing away and Brian Johnson taking over. And I don't get into that debate, who was better. Of course, us older folk are going to lean towards Bon Scott. The little younger, maybe Brian Johnson, because it's who you grew up with. But they were both really, really good. And I give Brian Johnson credit for maintaining AC/DC's momentum through the 80s. So as I do post this video and many more to follow on, I don't claim they are the greatest, because it's very hard. As you'll see in other videos, you're going to see bands you're going to say, wow, they were good, you know. So they're not the greatest, but I put them in the elite group of some of the greatest rock bands of all times. Heck, I wasn't even aware in 2014 they came out with another album without, you know, certain people. Brian Johnson, I guess, I was reading, had a hearing problem. Of course, we know what happened to Angus. And so I haven't even listened to the album. But I'm going to hand them the banner of one of the greatest rock bands of all times, no doubt. They stayed consistent and true to what they said, rock and roll. That's what they claimed themselves to be, just hard rock. And they were very good through the years, consistent. So my hat's off. I salute AC/DC as one of the elite groups, rock bands of all times.